So I got this part approved. What? There's some of the old stuff remaining. I forgot to delete from the other project. But I got the layers. That's what happened. I was messing with the layers, and I got all of those worked out. So I got the wall sheeting, wall framing, roof framing, photos, floor framing, floor decking, and there you go. But I got this concept of this corner window, and if Daisy will quit crying up there, let's see, wall sheeting. Dog's wanting attention. But anyway, this will show you basically with the wall sheeting turned on, sort of the layout of the windows. I got to fill in this end of the wall framing, and it's basically going to be a mirror image of this. But one thing I wanted to mention right quick is when you're doing your wall sheeting, let me turn the roof framing off right quick. Don't be one of those people that tries to overlap your OSB on the corner. That's not, it's not only not necessary, it will actually cause you, and this is what I'm talking about, some people will try to run one side of the OSB out flush like that. That's not proper, or and it can also end up causing you a lumpy corner, because if nobody cuts a perfect line, and so let's say you cut this piece here and it sticks out a little bit, okay? In this scenario, it's fine, right? No harm, because your siding, your trim corner is still going to make a 90-degree turn. But now, if you try to put this piece on and run it past out here, oopsie, you see what it does? It causes it not to actually, and this is actually looks better in this model, but in real life it would look nasty, okay? Because it would cause your corner to be out of plumb. So just learn something from this, and just run your sheeting to the corner. Don't try to overlap the corner with it. In the end, you'll have a much crisper and cleaner corner for your siding, your corners, or if you just let your siding come out to the corner. Alright, so that's enough preaching on that. So what I was going to do is cut out the door, which is what we would do eventually before we put the door in. I'm just going to get rid of that sheeting there, and then I'll go back and edit I've got all this stuff in groups, and that's why I'm having to go back and grab it and edit it. So then I would put, oops, get in there and put myself a line there. And it's funny because sometimes it's easier to cut things in real life than it is in CAD. So that's supposed to disappear, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you gotta delete it. So that's what that would look like after you cut your door plates, the part of your door out. And now what I'm going to do temporarily is just turn off wall sheeting so I can grab this wall framing on this end, and I'm going to delete my braces because that was just for demonstration purposes, obviously. And I'm not going to grab the door because the door is not coming. I'm just going to grab what I want. That. What else? Bottom plate and let's see. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I just want the end stud right there. There we go. So, and my wife has to get on the phone and talk, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to copy that down. Let's see, let me get that on the rocks. Let's see. I'm just going to grab that corner and put it right back there. There we go. Now, and I can just fill in this hole with the framing, bring this back. To there. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. It was never there. And then I can copy my studs over where I'm going to need 1, 2, 3. 16 times 3. There we go. I have to just shorten them a little bit here. I think these are should be. Not sure why I made those. Oh, they must have been originally 9-foot studs. There we go. And we'll just need to put, we can grab the wall sheeting now, whatever we want. Yeah, we'll take, and you can see how I've just kind of used whole pieces where I could, and you just install those and then take your Sawzall and cut them out after the fact. You know, you can do it either way, obviously, but I like to cut it out. I don't need, I could use that piece. I'll just fix it. Let's see, let's put this, let's grab this corner right here. Copy that. Copy that, Roger. Put it back right there, and voila. And since there is no door here, we can just grab the, oops, dang it, if you put your cursor out in space and then zoom, it'll try to zoom to space. So be careful where your cursor is when you're zooming. People are always complaining about that. You quit jumping around in the drawing. Look, it's just not doing it on purpose, dudes. Now I'm just holding my mouse down below the screen, trying to get it to go all the way down. There we go. Now, here's the funny part. There is going to be an air conditioner, and I'm just going to draw it as a block. It was got my dimensions right here for the sleeve. It was 25.5, 25.5 by 15.25, and it was 17 and a half tall. That doesn't look right. Oh, I think it's because it's standing up. Let me make a block of this. I mean a group. I said keep using AutoCAD terms sometimes. That's my old AutoCAD days. There, now that's it. And we're just gonna Well, you know what we could do? We could make it look real. We could offset this as 16th just for the 1/16, and then move it all the way back to there. What I'm going to recommend is that let's put this up even with the windows to begin with, and then over what I was going to say is, if this was mine, I would have, let's see if we can go to the warehouse and get what are these, what do we call these? I call them cafeteria table, but I use them for office tables. This is close enough. That looks kind of cool. It's probably 156,000 megabytes. So let's say we took this table, and I think my point here was that, make sure we don't go into the wall. My point is that you want to have this air conditioner up so that you can, you know, have a table there and still have something sitting on top of it, like a printer or even a book. You know, maybe you've got a line of books or something here. So I think being up around this height, which is I had envisioned being at least the height of the windows, would work pretty good. But this is something you can do. You know, you can decide this anytime. We need to put a little header in the wall somewhere. So wherever you decide, let's call it 5'5". That is where we would put our header. And I'm just going to steal, and this is really not a load-bearing header, so you could use you know, just whatever 2x6s. Where's my line? I'm just going to put it right there and then bring it over to here, and then we'll put, might as well just make it go from, you know, stud cavity to stud cavity, stud cavity, like that. And this stud would come up to here, sit on top of that header, and then you would have a jack on either side, like this. I had made all those unique. But obviously I didn't. What in the world? I'm calling it unique. What in the world? Make unique. Is my mouse working? Jesus. There we go. And, oh, well, yeah, now we got to put a 2x4 underneath it. Yeah, I should just be able to bring that copy, bring that straight over. Let me lock that axis. I can push the shift key, and then I can lock that axis, and then I can just, let's see what I ended up with on the rough opening. Let's see, let me trim this off first. Like that. Let me put this in. I need a layer for, what would that be? HVAC. That seems to be a bit complicated for that device, but that'll work. Let's see, I will need one there. A jack. A cripple, I mean. Let's make this unique, and then we can bring these down all together since they were the same. Copied that one, and since all I had to do is make that one unique, and these are all the same. So there's your opening for your HVAC unit. Now I got to cut a hole in this sheeting, and this I'm going to cut this just the size. Let's see, am I in that? I think you're going to want it just a little bit bigger than this, obviously. So that, you know, you want to leave a little tiny crack. Excuse me. You want to leave enough of a crack there to caulk, you know, all the way around. That's good enough for now. And what next? Let's turn our roof framing back on. And let me go see if I can find a rafter tie. And cool. Let's see which one I want. I thought here we go, Simpson. Here we go. That's the one I like. This one right here. This is your, it wants to go on this side, doesn't it? Let's see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut that, and I'm going to go in here and edit and paste it in place, and then you will see that each rafter has now got one. And I'm also going to copy it I'll probably just spin it around. You can see the value of making components because now all I have to do is spin this thing around. Let's see, is that right? Yeah, I can actually put these on this side. I mean, you can flip them upside down, but I'm just trying to show you this. I'm just trying to make it easy on myself, honestly. Here, I'm just going to put it on the other side of the rafter, just so I don't have to flip it upside down. Let's see, I'm going to have to make this one unique. Make this one unique because it's a barge rafter. It won't have them. This one doesn't need it. Now I'm going to make myself a piece of, let's see, where am I? Well, let's do this first. Let's just make ourselves a little piece of OSB decking so that we can make it a group itself. And Let's make it look like OSB. This one should be in the center of that one, right there, and then it should be 48 inches wide. And some of the stuff may be boring, but but I had to make this sheet because I'm having to put it at the angle, the slope of the roof, and it's just easier to do it that way. And then you have another one. Did I miss? How did I miss? Like that. I think my mouse, I think my wireless mouse is dying because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough of a lap. It would be kind of cool if we could have just gone back and forth like that, but it's not enough of a lap, so you're going to need to go to here. To the center of that one. Wait a minute. That's odd. Is that not 8 feet? Oh, that's right. I had to cut that piece off. I grabbed a piece that I had. Math don't lie, that's for sure. One. There we go. Yeah, it's 8 feet. Make sure I'm getting that. I feel like I mean, you're supposed to leave a gap, but I didn't really mean to. Just for the fun of it. You should leave a little tiny gap. Nobody ever does. If you get this, if this OSB is dry when you put it down, and you keep it dry, you're okay. But if you think it's going to rain the next day or something like that, and you're not going to be able to get your felt down, which I'll show you with the kind of felt I like to use, then you really need to leave a little gap. But on a little shed like this, you're probably going to be able to get it into dry so fast that it won't matter. Oh, that didn't even make it all the way, did it? But while I'm doing this, I'm going to grab these and put them in a group, and then make a layer. Let's see, do I have let's see, make a group, because I need to move, let's see, roof, decking. I try to keep these layers together by, so I've got roof, decking, roof framing, wall sheeting, and then this will go into roof, decking. I've had some drawings that's got, 50 layers, and it's hard to keep up with. This would be this row. And since these are on 16-inch since the rafters are on 16-inch centers, you don't need any kind of plywood clips or anything. I mean, you could actually, I've never have liked doing the rafters on 2-foot centers, but you can. Is that going back? No. But I don't like it. And you know, for my own personal projects, I mean, literally, I just show like a one big piece of, you know, decking. But I'm doing this for Clinton because he wanted to. Shoot, I forgot to let this lap over. Dang it! Now I have to fix that. The reason I made this a group was because you want this to come down to where it kind of touches that, but not hangs over like that. I think I have this set up so that it'll go all the way down to the corner, but you don't want it to hang over. Typically, we just let the OSB hang over 1 inch, just enough to get past the subfascia there a little bit. Now I gotta go up here and fix this. Dang it. See, that's the kind of thing that wouldn't happen in real life because we would have let that hang over while we were installing it. You don't want your roof sheeting to hang over past your subframing, you know, your framing, because you're going to be putting fascia boards on and stuff later, and roofing and stuff. You don't want it to interfere with it. And that's cool. The framing purist would say, "Oh, where's your barge hangers?" Well, you'd probably want to come in here and have at least 2. I'll show you. Do I have a 2x4 handy? And what it would be is a what size is that? It needs to be 3.5 by, what did it say? 1.5. What in the world? Oh, that was an optical illusion. Wow, I thought it was, that's funny. I thought it was butting into that, but it wasn't long enough. The 3D stuff, working in 3D can kind of mess you up sometimes. You think you're doing something in one plane or axis, and you're not really. Let's see. Let's get this looking like a 2x4. Let's grab that. And we'll put this down here flush. And then it comes up. And what you do is you notch them in. I'm not going to show the notch. I'm just not gonna. Now, see, I remember these rafters were about 12 feet something, so let's come down 4 feet just for the fun of it. Oh, well, is my eye good or not? Okay, that's all I'm saying. Come up here 48. You just need 2, and they're not. It would be notched in. And the reason you can get by with notching the house line rafter is because it's sitting on the wall. So you notch this in. You see, you would face nail it through here, and face nail it through here, and so your house line rafter is the only one that has to be notched. And you see that becomes like a hanger. And honestly, on a rafter this short, you've got, if you let your subfascia up here, this is 2x8 also, and a 2x8 down here, you see that can basically cantilever, but I figured I'd get some comments about this, so I'm just going to go ahead and show them to keep the rabid individuals from saying, you should have had barge hangers. Okay, so I'm going to put them on there anyway. And just a note to those people, I'm not showing all the nails and screws I'm using too either. So I'm not showing the sweat I would exert building this thing. I'm not showing a lot of things. I'm not showing myself take a leak between, taking a break and drinking beer and all that. So just get over it. I'm just kidding. I'm just talking. I'm rambling while I'm drawing. So anyway, and then some of the old timers would actually build. If this soffit was wider than this, and I'll show you why you don't have to do this when I start doing the soffits. But some of the old timers would put blocks between here, and all that does is stiffen it up. It doesn't give it much. It gives it a little support, but these barge hangers actually, go back in here and tie this so that when there's force exerted down, literally that would mean that you would have to be pushing up on your roof decking, you see, to get that to come down. So as a system, it's very strong and it's very quick. It's a lot quicker than putting blocks between here. And if this is only 16 inches, your soffit will span that far. And of course, I'll show you how to frame that when we get to that point. So what next here? Let's put some metal roofing. Well, let's see. If we're going to do a metal roof, we would do our fascia boards next, wouldn't we? But the point is that you put that on first. You put that piece of flashing over, down on the roof deck and over your fascia board like that, and then the roof goes on top of it like that. And that's a real simple roofing system. In the next video, I'm going to put the windows and siding and trim on, and that should get us pretty close there. Alright guys, I hope this kind of walks you through on house. I mean, this really, you could build a house like this, basically the same techniques. But if you have any special requests, you can send me an email, tony@artisantony.com, for projects like this. And I want to thank Clint, and I will see you in the next episode.